cooking, but so too is the racing news. Hey, good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino. It's racing radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thank you once again for choosing to spend a part of your Saturday with us. Hey, we're going to be visiting today with Cocopah Speedway street stock driver Tommy Daffern. Despite missing a handful of races as 2014 began, Daffern really began making a mark over the last few races of the season's first half. We're going to be talking about that and more in just a few minutes. First, though, no let-up in sight on the summer break action. The Cocopah Speedway Racing Series regulars continue to find at a variety of out-of-town tracks. Imperial's Lance Maury and Somerton's Ty Rogers both saw action last Saturday night at Central Arizona Speedway, both starting third row in their heats, both picking up third-place finishes to make it into the A feature. Maury sixth in that feature, and Rogers was eighth, the win going to Don Irvin out of Globe in the 1X, while the couple of other competitors who've seen plenty of track time at Cocopah Speedway finished second and third respectively. Ricky Thornton Jr. in the 5M and Casagrande's Brian Schultz in the L8, rounding out the top three. Maury planning to see more action tonight, set to compete in the SummerSlam, taking place at Canyon Speedway Park outside of Phoenix. Meanwhile, Brawley's Cody and Tommy Daffern both saw action over at Verona outside of San Diego last weekend. Tommy running in the super stock division, Cody in the hobby stock, but running with the street stocks. Tommy scoring a sixth-place finish in that super stock feature, which, by the way, was won by former Cocopah Speedway Pro Stock champion Mike Lurwell, while Cody took a 10th, again running a hobby stock against the street stock competitors. And Brawley's Jason Higginbottom also saw action last Saturday night, making the run up to Pahrump, Nevada for competition in the IMCA Modifieds. Higginbottom picking up a fifth-place finish in his heat, moving on to the A feature, where he scored an eighth-place finish. Higginbottom also planning some additional track action over the summer break as he continues to go for valuable seat time in his number 45 IMCA Modified. Shifting gears for a moment, we'd like to pass along our condolences this morning to the friends and family of Ralph Sullivan, who passed away a week ago today at the age of 82. If you've been around the racing business here in Yuma for many, many years, well, you'll remember Ralph spending many a year up in the flag stand at the old Yuma Speedway back during the Frank Golden era, and he remained a friend of many racers over the years. You'll be missed, Ralph, and we again offer our sympathies to the Sullivan family and to Ralph's many friends. And as we remark on passages this morning, so too do we celebrate life's renewal by passing along congratulations to IMCA Modified driver Johnny Swenson and his wife, proud parents to a new baby boy born on Thursday, and a big boy at that, 9 pounds 1 ounce, 21.5 inches long. Again, our congratulations to the entire Swenson family. One other racing-related note this morning, voting for the 2014 Fast Shafts All-Star Invitational started this Monday just passed on Facebook, not being conducted on IMCA.com like in years past. The round one voting continues through Monday with 3 drivers from each region set to be voted into the starting grid at the 2014 Super Nationals. If you'd like to get in on the voting for that, you have to be a fan of the IMCA Racing Facebook page. The Super Nationals 2014 are coming up September 1st through the 6th at Iowa's Boone Speedway. The Invitational, by the way, will take place on Friday the 5th. Well, as the summer break continues at Cocopah Speedway, we will, of course, continue to pass along news and notes on all the drivers from all 5 divisions that call Cocopah Speedway home. Well, up next here on Laptime Live, we visit with Cocopah Speedway street stock driver Tommy Daffern. A little look back at the season's first half and what Daffern foresees when racing kicks off again in September out at Cocopah Speedway. It's Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino. We'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
Don't miss a single second of baseball action this season with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tune in for the crack of the bat, every home run, and every out. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks on Outlaw Country AM 1400 all season long. Root, root, root for your home team. Just turn on your radio and we'll bring the game to you right here on Outlaw Country, where we're rattling with excitement all season long.
check it. It's your vote. The primary election is August 26th. Have you checked it? Have you moved recently? Have you changed your name? Make sure voter registration has your current information. YumaCountyAZ.gov will fix that. It only takes 60 seconds to check it. Let YumaCountyAZ.gov help you help yourself. Just 3 simple steps at YumaCountyAZ.gov. That's all it takes. You can check it at YumaCountyAZ.gov in 60 seconds. Anytime, 24 hours a day. You don't have to wait to check it until you get to your PC at home. Check It is available on your mobile device at YumaCountyAZ.gov. Be confident that you're prepared to vote on August 26th. Just check it now at YumaCountyAZ.gov. It's your vote. The primary election is August 26th. Have you checked it?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Blackwell, News Director for Outlaw Country. Yuma has been my home for over 20 years. I'm raising my family here, and I love being a part of this community. I truly do care about Yuma and keeping everyone up to date on local news and things that impact our area. Please tune in for local news with me, Jennifer Blackwell, the voice you can trust. First, fast, local, and accurate. You can also follow the latest news on the Outlaw Country Facebook page. You can find us at facebook.com/OutlawYuma.
All offers on approved credit and may not be combined. 0% dealer buy down. Maximum amount finance $25,000. 36 months lease. $3,000 down excludes tax, license, $595 acquisition fee, $475 dock fee, 15 cents per mile over 12,000 miles. Expires 7/31/2014.
The once-a-year Honda Summer Clearance Event is on now at Yuma Honda. Get clearance pricing, 0 down payment, and 0% financing for 60 months. Drive a 2014 Civic LX 4-door automatic for only $98 a month. You can't afford to miss the Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now at Yuma Honda on 32nd Street or online at YumaHonda.com.
John is big on the whole local thing. Hey, John, what are you listening to?
Huh? Oh, it's a local band. You've probably never heard of them.
Cool. Nice T-shirt. Hey, where'd you get it?
Yeah, it's a local vegan clothing shop. You've probably
never heard of it? Yeah, I got it. Hey, you ever play the pick from the Arizona Lottery? It's the big jackpot game that starts at $1 million and rolls from there. It grows locally and is won locally by Arizonans just like you.
Wait, what? No, I've never heard of that.
Well, now you have. The Arizona Lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
My people, today I call upon you to stand up to wireless companies, to stand up with me against contracts and so-called unlimited plans that have data caps. Join me, and we will flash our phones so that we can keep them. Today, we declare our freedom.
Rise up for freedom with Clear Talk Wireless. 4 lines of truly unlimited everything for just $25 a month per line on our nationwide network.
Clear Talk. More value, more freedom.
Welcome back to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino. And joining us in studio now is Brawley's Tommy Daffern, driver of the number 81 Fisher Automotive Street Stock. And good morning to you, Tommy. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you've been getting in quite a bit of track action during the summer break from Cocopah Speedway. Some interesting runs over at Verona. Been having some fun over there, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, it's been a blast. You know, I sat out a few races this season, so I want to do some racing during the summer in some cooler weather. It's been pretty nice up there.
Now, you ran up there in their super stock division. Can you kind of tell us how that came about?
Well, the first race I went up there to run with the street stocks, but I borrowed some tires to take up there to run because you have to run street tires up there. And we had already went through tech and everything was fine. And came time to put the tires on, 2 of the wheels were the wrong bolt pattern. So I had to go back and tell them that I couldn't get it done. And they said I had to run with the super stocks. So I was a little nervous with that at first, but after running the main with them, I was kind of excited. I think I ended up leading like 8 laps, and then the battery started shorting out. I started losing power. But it was a pretty good run. I enjoyed it.
Seemed like you had a lot of fun with that, and in turn, then a second visit over and another run on the super stocks.
Yeah. When I went up there the second time, I went up there expecting to run with the super stocks, so I left my the G60 Hoosiers on, and I put a 4-barrel on just to wake up the motor a little bit, and it did. And I had a pretty good run going, but track was a little bit more slick, and they had the advantage with the better tire there, but I had a good run. I can't complain. It's been a good summer so far. I'm really happy with this new piece I'm trying out.
A nice way to be able to do some experimentation, and I'm taking it from that that you're possibly planning some more travel as well.
Oh, yeah. I still up in the air about racing next weekend in Verona. I would like to try and run Paris one time this summer, but very unlikely that I will. Try to save the car, get ready to come back after the summer break and run with the IMCA stock cars again.
A lot of fun no matter what division you are running in.
Oh, yeah, it's a blast. I sat out there for a little over a year and a half, and my main focus was keeping the cars on the track at that time, but I just needed to step back, and it's time for me to have some fun now, so I'm ready for it. And hopefully coming back after the summer break, Steve and I have a car, and we'll be able to race against each other. And there's a lot of controversy going on there. We've been talking a lot of smack back and forth to each other, so I can't wait to do that again, because we did have one, we call it the grudge race, where he ran Dave Amos's car. But I don't think it was a fair race. Dave's car had a lot of trouble. I got to give props to Dave Amos. I don't know how he ever drove that car. But I'm looking forward to racing him again. I really am. I don't think he is, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hey, a big family affair with all of you guys.
Oh, yeah, it's because me and both my brothers that are racing, we started off watching my dad race, and all my uncles had raced, and it's been a big learning curve, though, coming up with these IMCA stock cars. I guess we were ahead of the game when we went to Boone in 2012, and then when Cocopah decided to go IMCA, we were the first ones to jump all over it, and we started doing the changes, and I think that's how we had such a good season until everybody else started catching up to us, and we kind of fell behind. But I think after the second half, we're going to be ready.
Just how big of a learning curve do you feel like that was? And you mentioned the Boone experience from 2012. Were there things you took away from that you've been able to apply now over the course of the last year and a half or so?
Oh, yeah. There was everybody back there was very helpful, and they were free with, go ahead, take a look. And, I took a couple measurements off their cars back there, and it was the first, production cars I had seen for a stock car. And there was some pretty trick stuff we learned about, and about where bars were placed and shock locations, shock numbers, springs. It all comes together, and we thought we had it dialed in back in the day, but we were very, very wrong.
Learning takes place over a series of years. You've been at this for a very long time. You got your start all the way back at 15 years of age?
Yes. I actually started my first season here at Cocopah in 99, I do believe. Yeah, I actually, my first race was in the straight stock division with the factory stock during the Turkey Classic. They used to run it a whole winter series, and I actually ran a few races then.
Now, you also raced on and off over the years at Imperial as well in that intervening period.
Yeah, the next season, that's when Cocopah had closed and Imperial opened back up, and I had a pretty good first season there, and I won quite a few races. But yet again, that's when we used to run street tires, and that's when they first allowed the G60s in that class, and I was the first one to try them out, and I got a used set from Josh Woods, actually, when he was running A-mods back then, and it was a night and day difference, and I never looked back.
All of you within the family have picked up championships here and there. You were a big part of helping your brothers get to some of those points.
Yeah, Cody's pure stock championship, that was just something that was thrown together, and he just ran it hard every race, and he won a lot of races with that car. And that's actually the same car I got the championship in after he moved up. And then Steven got his all on his own, and then we shot really hard for that one last season. He didn't want to do it, but I was pushing for it because I did a lot of work to the car, and I was pushing hard. We had some good sponsors backing us last year that kept us rolling all year, and I'm really thankful for those people that were backing us. But it didn't fare our way. We had 2 DNFs and then one where we broke the front end. We came back, but we were still laps down. But that's the way racing is.
You mentioned a little bit ago the year and a half basically away from things. That was because of a back issue of some sort?
Yeah, I actually hurt my back a few years ago, and then I re-injured it, and it was fairly bad how bad I hurt it. And I actually didn't walk for about a week. So, I stayed away from the car for a while, and then I started working on them again. And I wanted someone to drive my car because I had just got the car, and I didn't want it just sitting there rotting. So I put Steven in it for the second half of one of the seasons, and first race in it, he won. So, and at a disadvantage, too, because after the race, the car wouldn't start. We couldn't figure out what it was. The accelerator pump was actually off of the carburetor, and he still won that race, and still to this day haven't figured out how. But he finished off that season. He won twice, and then we freshened up the motor, and I did a few more changes to it, and I had a friend that was helping me out with that stuff. And then as I got better after the next summer break, I was cleared to go back, but I just wanted him to finish out the season in the car.
Was there any hesitation about jumping back behind the wheel that first time, given what had happened with you physically?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how the car was going to react. Well, like the first time I made the changes to the rear end of the car, Steven was driving the car, and he came back after hot laps, and he told me he hated it. And after watching the way it did, I told him just drive it, because it's going to do that. It's supposed to do that. And he got mad at me, but he went, and then after that, he won that night, and he was tickled to death about it. So I knew what the cars are supposed to do, but I had never been in one to see what it's going to do.
Obviously, it has agreed with you since you've been back.
Yeah. I've been doing fairly well in there. Still trying to get comfortable to the car. I've been still making changes, and that's what Steven fought with me all last year about. Every race we went back, I changed something on the car, and he's like, I'm not ever getting used to the car because I don't know what it's going to do.
Hey, you gotta. Sometimes you move backwards to go forwards, and that's kind of the name of the game sometimes with making those kinds of changes.
Yeah. That I made one mistake, but thank God that was at the second half of the first season. He ran the car. We did a gear change, and it wasn't right with the cam, and we ended up hurting the motor that race. But we rethought it out how we were going to do it, and then after we did some motor work and I did some suspension work, we ended up going back to that gear I made the mistake on, and we actually went past that gear. And he was actually mad at me about that. He's like, you yelled at me about putting that gear in. So I've been happy with it ever since. And this new piece that I have under the hood, I didn't realize how far we were off motor-wise. I mean, we were at a true disadvantage, and I got to give props to Steven for even running with those guys, because, I mean, that motor finally let go, and, that motor didn't owe us anything. It had been ran hard for a few years.
It was a good, strong soldier during that time.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm the one that got to blow it up.
We're talking with Tommy Daffern from out of Brawley. He drives the number 81 street stock at Cocopah Speedway. We're going to focus in a little bit more on the 2014 season here at Cocopah Speedway when we resume our conversation with Tommy here on Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino.
Once upon a time, there was a set of twins. Jim would win it all.
That's true. I do exude the luck.
While Tim would win nothing.
Whatever. It's all about Jim.
Then one day, the twins discovered the new All or Nothing game from the Arizona Lottery. Both chose their 10 numbers. Jim won $25,000 when he matched it all.
That's a booyah!
And Tim also won $25,000 when he matched nothing.
What? Really?
Really. The new $2 All or Nothing from the Arizona Lottery. You can play twice a day. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
Outlaw Country streaming live. Just visit us on the web at outlawcountry1400.com and click on the Listen Live button. It's easy. You'll find DJs' bios, photos, and you can also get the latest Yuma news from Jennifer Blackwell and entertainment news, too. We also have fun contests. Check us out today. That's outlawcountry1400.com. Streaming live anywhere you have internet access and speakers. Classic country, your country.
Outlaw Country.
Every year, visitors from all over the world travel to Arizona and Southern California for many types of recreation. The BLM Yuma Field Office wants to remind all public land visitors of the dangers associated with any military or mining type of ordnance or explosives. The desert Southwest has a rich cultural and historic past that includes numerous contributions relating to a military presence that supported settlement of the West, desert training, and weapons development. This military presence dates back to the 1800s. The Sonoran Desert's mineral-rich ground has drawn prospectors and fortune seekers and is still considered a primary location for individuals looking to strike it rich. Evidence of mining history can be seen at nearly every mountain range in the area. When visiting the desert, if you encounter an item with any explosive or potential explosive danger, you are asked to leave the item in place and do not touch it. Also, leave the immediate area the same way that you approached it. Don't activate electronic devices on or near the explosive item. Once you are safely away from the item, mark its general location with flagging, GPS coordinates, or by some other recognizable means. And please, notify the BLM or any appropriate law enforcement agency by the quickest means available.
You can't always see it, but energy is changing. So what's next for Arizona? Next is new choices for the way you use energy through innovations like plug-in electric vehicles, smart appliances, and rooftop solar. At APS, our job is to plan for these possibilities with a smarter electricity grid that can safely and reliably power whatever you plug in next. The future of energy is bright. Learn more at aps.com/next.
Can you tell if the surfaces in this kitchen are crawling with bacteria that could cause chronic arthritis? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. Wash surfaces, utensils, and hands frequently with soapy water while preparing food, especially when handling raw meats or eggs. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by cleaning with soap and water as you go. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino. We continue our conversation now with Brawley's Tommy Daffern, driver of the number 81 Street Stock. And Tommy, let's talk first half of the season out at Cocopah Speedway. Some hits and misses, but you were involved in 2 of the more thrilling races of the year. One back in March, and then the first half closer just a month and a half or so ago.
Yeah, that one race, I had a good race going with Manny Boldivis. It's back down to one-line track, so you can't, not a whole lot of passing options unless you can get a good bite off the corner to pull him down the straightaway and beat him to the corner. But, and then the one with Jimmy Davey, he had a rough first half, so, I was racing hard behind him, but I didn't want to push the issue because he had such a bad year, and I'm really happy he finally got a win in the street stock division.
I would guess that you are foreseeing a win for yourself, though, at some point during the second half.
Oh yeah, this new piece we have under the hood, I'm ready for a heavy track finally, because last season we were talking with Mike Harlan, and we would be telling him, man, the track's too heavy right now. We're bogging the motor in the corners. He didn't understand what we were talking about. And I didn't realize, we were at a hard disadvantage because, we were probably 100 horses less than everybody else. Easy.
And in turn, we're able to make adjustments going forward from there, though. A little bit of horse trading here and there, et cetera.
Yeah. And I did some wheeling and dealing, and I traded some parts here and there and got a little bit of cash flow going to. And the motor that I got right now, I bought it used as a short block, and then had someone freshen it up, and they first go out with it wasn't so well. I ended up bending a valve in the head, and I took it out and had the guy go through it for me, and turned out it was a blessing in disguise, because the two bearings were hurting the motor, and he ended up rebuilding it for me, and he put in his own cam that he wanted to try out, and he still to this day hasn't told me what it is, but I don't care. It runs great. I mean, I love it, and we're still a little bit down on horsepower, but it's got plenty of torque. So I'm ready for the second half. I'm ready to do some real hard racing with these guys here in Yuma.
Sounds like the car is very well matched to what you want to do with it on the track. How would you rate your performance over the first half of the season?
Oh, very poor. I had a lot of bad races, and then I've had a lot of good races, but I wish I could do a lot more racing than what I'm doing right now. I just try to think back of like when we used to race in between Yuma and Imperial. There was racing twice a week, but like here in the summertime, it's nice to get out of the heat and race somewhere else. So this second half, I'm hoping to get a few more wins in before, because next season I'm probably going to set out a few again, so I'm not in for the points chasing. So because it's very stressful when you run for the points, and I just can't thank Cocopah Speedway enough for giving us a place to race this close to us. Now it's a really nice facility. Those two races we had before the summer break, where we actually had a heavy track, those are really nice tracks like that. A little rough, but I mean, those are hammered down tracks, and I like seeing those.
Takes a lot of people to make this all possible. Supporters, friends, family that you'd like to acknowledge this morning?
My wife and my dad, for the biggest part, because my dad, he helps me out in so many different ways, and then my wife, she supports me as much as she can. She gets frustrated with me so much, but she still hangs around and puts up with me. So, I mean, she likes seeing me up front, and she says if she doesn't like it if I'm going to the racetrack unprepared and I'm not going to be competitive. She really, really doesn't like that. So, I mean, she's a big supporter, and like, she actually, the race we had in between me and my brother, she actually let me buy a new set of tires, so there's no chance that my brother could beat me.
Tommy, we want to thank you ever so much for stopping in and visiting with us this morning here on Laptime Live. Been an absolute blast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, and our best to you going forward in 2014 and on any other summer journey travels you make. Tommy Daffern, once again, driver of the number 81 Street Stock. We'll be looking forward to seeing him back in action when the 2014 season resumes in September. Hey, make sure you stay fully up to speed on all of the racing to come later in the year. Stop by CocopahSpeedway.com. You can look at the point standings, learn more about the drivers in competition at Cocopah Speedway, and find lots of other specialized content, including all the information you'll ever need to know about the Winter Heat Sprint Car Showdown. Remember, advanced purchases also providing fans a limited pit pass good from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on each showdown event day. That special still available. It is a limited time offer, so be sure to get in on those tickets soon. Make sure, too, that you like us on Facebook. You'll also find a new kids racing tab on CocopahSpeedway.com as development continues on the Cocopah Mini Speedway. Things coming together more and more, and there's some exciting new information to be found there. You've been listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino, and we'll be back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m., here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.